Hello, my name is Rehan Primbetova, and today I want to present my research proposal on the topic of the effects of environmental tax on economic growth of Asian countries. So before we start, let me share one piece of information. The first ever and only legally binding climate agreement was signed only 7 years ago, while climate change itself has existed over hundreds of thousands of years. So this agreement is called Paris Agreement. And the uniqueness of this agreement is that it obligates countries around the world to take action to control their pollution emissions, and therefore nations started adopting different policies, including environmental taxes. So what I want to investigate in this research is how environmental taxes affect these countries, and more specifically I'm looking at their economic growth. And what is the role of Paris Agreement in this relationship? I'm also specifically focused on Asian countries because all research were focused on European countries and that also part of OECD organization, but no other research focused on Asian countries. For the methodology part, I collected existing data of environmental tax as a share of total tax and gross domestic product of 18 Asian countries to investigate economic growth that shows relationship with economic growth. So I used three estimation models: pooled ordinary least square effects, random effects, and fixed effects. I also had three groups that I investigated. So for the first group, I took 20-year span from 2000 to 2020. For the second group, I took from 2000 to 2015, and for the third group, I looked at the time span from 2016 to 2020. So the first one is overall correlation, is to look at overall correlation, and as I want to investigate Paris Agreement's effects, I'm specifically divided this group in 2016, because this was the year when Paris Agreement was signed. Here you can see my estimation model and my result statistic for overall 20-year span. It shows a negative correlation in fixed effects model. The fixed effects model is the most accurate in this case because of the highest R squared. So R squared shows how this correlation is close to the real relationship by after any control variables and country-specific models. So as a control variable, I also added greenhouse gas per capita that for each country, and it showed more clear result. So another negative correlation you can witness here for the first 15 years. It also shows that in fixed effects model, it shows that environmental taxes slow down economic growth of these countries for the 15 years. However, for the last 5 years, there is a positive correlation. So this positive correlation might be a result from Paris Agreements and the actions that were taken after Paris Agreement. However, there also more research should be done in this field that investigates this relationship with more data and more accurate models, more control variables, because there might be other factors that contributed to this positive correlation, but also Paris Agreement might be one of them. So the uniqueness of my research is that I'm specifically focused on Asian countries that no other researcher did before. And how I managed to do it is that I sorted my data and took only Asian countries. And also I looked at three different estimation models to make the most accurate predictions with the R squared method. And also I added control variable. The most unique thing that I did was the Paris Agreement, because no one before investigated Paris Agreement's effect. In conclusion, environmental taxes slow down economic growth of these Asian countries for the first 15 years and overall 20-year period. However, a positive correlation is also detected for the last 5 years that might be due to Paris Agreement. Thank you.